Today we are going to speak about floating unknown objects. But first, do not forget to subscribe our channel and like our videos. In addition to the sky, observation in the seas and oceans confirms their floating objects. Many parts of the world are water, and evidence suggests that UNOs are also used waterways to travel invisible to anyone on the planet. These objects are called UNOs, namely floating unknown objects. Also, most people are unaware of it. There are numerous reports about them. Basically, the Bermuda Triangle is the region where the beam in the region, the rock float bodies, and the mysterious submarine bodies are frequently observed. The zoologist archaeologist Dr. Mason Valentin, who studied the mysterious events in the Bermuda Triangle, mentioned the UNO observations in Bermuda. There are more observations than anywhere else in the area, and in the recent years there have been identified areas in the region that have been identified as airborne aircraft and that they do not have a submarine. The history of UNO observation extends far back to the 1800s. In the mid-108s, UNOs began to appear in 1845 in Turkey in Antalya, and in 1875 in Mexico, in 1879-1890 in the Gulf of Barca in the Chinese Sea. In the 20th century, observation on these extraordinary bodies in the seas increased with the increase of UNO observations. On June 13, 1967, a group of people in Navarro, Argentina ship saw a cylindrical body facing the sea. This object, about 33 feet tall, was a blue and white light. The observers were surprised by the fact that the body did not produce any sound and did not create waves despite the rapid movement of water. While watching the mysterious sea body, the object suddenly turned towards Navarro, faded into the water when it had fallen into the collision with the ship, and was just a little distance away. During August, September, and October 1972, UNO and UNO observation reports were frequently heard from the islands in the Caribbean Sea. This frequent recurring observation in 1974 gave us reason to think that Venezuela is the center of an underwater UNO. On July 26, 1980, sailors traveling with the Brazilian Caioba-Seahorse saw a round, gray-haired object about 10 meters in diameter. At that moment, a bright light appeared on the horizon and began to approach the boat. When approaching the gray body next to the light ship, all the technical problems on the boat occurred. The gray matter was clearly visible with green, red, blue, and yellow. As it turned out to be a very bright disc-shaped object, it turned towards the metallic UNO and united with it. Afterwards, these two bodies came together on the water and stayed there for a while. Then, with great speed, the sky rose and disappeared. Are UNOs just visible on the ocean? No, there are information on these type of mysterious objects observed in rivers, even in lakes. On April 13, 1976, an unidentified object hit the ice in the frozen Sicilian cover in Sweden with a great deal of force and went over the water. Although the thickness of the ice was 20 centimeters, eyewitnesses claimed that the body was just 9 feet tall. The mentioned UNO has come from the bottom of the water, approaching the damaged area at the speed of about 100 km height and opening a 800 meters long and 4 meters wide canal. This object then disappeared from the sky without any traumatic effects. I think we should be so grateful to these high-tech objects that they did not put their nose in our everyday lives. If they're watching our video, let them know we are thankful to them. That's all for today, guys. See you!
Finally, we would like to inform you about the first and only natural stone center AQAT in Azerbaijan. In our store, handmade items, minerals, decorative items, serpentine stones, repair of accessories, auspicious stones of science are waiting for you. If you are in Baku or you are gonna come to Baku one day, you should definitely visit the address below. We are sure around the colorful natural stones you will experience the most unforgettable moments of your life.